Hi, boys and girls. Today we will be in our visual phonics book, not our poem book, but our new purple folder that has a bunch of books in it. We're going to pull out book number 2 because we read book number 1 last week. And you can watch me first and you can get your book out afterwards, or you're welcome to press pause now and get it out now. But we are working on the long E sound. Remember, the short E says eh. But sometimes when two vowels go a walking, the first one does the talking. And so here's two vowels. The first one does the talking and it says its name. It says E. That makes the long sound. Same here. Two vowels go a walking. The first one does the talking and it says the long sound. It says the long E sound. So when you see EA, you're going to say E most of the time. This is book number 2, Anne and Sam, with our long E symbol. And today we're just going to talk about some of the patterns and read through the book once. And then tomorrow we'll read it again and go through the questions. So here are some words that have the long E pattern. So what you'll do when you see these in a book, if you see that long E pattern and you don't know the word, you'll practice sounding it out with those letters saying the long E. So, for example, creak, creak, and then you kind of blend it together, say it a little smoother, say it a little faster, creak. Oh, that's the word creek, which is like a skinny stream. Okay. Then we have the word eat, feet. Then we have eat, deep. Notice I'm just making one sound for these. I'm making that long E sound. That's it. I'm not saying E-eh. I'm not saying E-E. I'm just saying E. Makes one sound together. Then we have the word E, C. And this is C like I see with my eyes. There's other kinds of C's too. Then we have green. This is one of those silent K N words. So it says knees, like your knees. Down here, can you touch them? Can't see them in my video, but you have knees down here that bend on your legs. And then we have, this is a harder word, but I did notice the ED at the end. And in this word, the ED is going to say id. So this is the word plead, id. A little faster. Pleaded. Pleaded, which means to beg. Right? You might plead for ice cream from your parents. Then we have this word, which I see girl in here, So sound it out with me. Ers. A little faster. Sneakers. Good job. This one, glee. It's like happy. Clear. This one's a harder. Whenever there's an R, it makes it a little tricky, but this is the word clear. And then we have please. And this one has a bossy E at the end too that you don't hear, but it also has the EA. So it has 2 of our vowel patterns that we know of. And then we have eel. So those are the words you'll see in the book. And then I also want to go through and look for some of those endings so that if you get to those words that seem a little bit longer, you know what to do and you know what the ending says. Sorry, I thought it was being noisy. All right, so I see our E words. We're going to make sure we say that E sound. But I also see down here a word, and it has the ED at the end. And this is the word waded. They waded in the water. So like walked into the water, went into the water. But that ED is going to say id. And the A is going to make the long sound. That's on page 3. Page 4, we have a couple more words that end in ED. We have the pleaded, where that ED is going to say id. Then we have the word yelled. And so it just says d at the end. And you can see that word yell in front of it, that base word. On page 5, we have the word, if I get rid of this, we have kick, but when we add an ed, it changes to kicked. Anne kicked off her sneakers, kicked. Over here, if I chunk off the ed, I see the word jump, and jump becomes jumped. That ed says jumped. So you might want to write your little clue to remember that. On page 6, I don't see any on page 6, so I'm going to skip on over. Oh, and that was our last page. So now I'm going to read the book, and I want you to repeat the sentence after me until you get comfortable with it, because I want you to go through reading this book one time by yourself. So I'm going to start you off. I'm going to read, and then you'll repeat after me. And make sure you follow along with your finger in your book, or you follow along with my finger on the screen. Anne and Sam. We learned about those words. We're on page 3. Anne and Sam went to the creek. Sam put his feet in and waded up to his knees. He pleaded with Anne to come in too. Please, please, it is not deep, he yelled. Page 5. Anne kicked off her sneakers and jumped in with glee, with like happiness. The water was very clear. And I also noticed that Y saying E at the end. Sam could see an eel on the green rocks at the bottom. So that's all we're doing today. We have some questions in the back, but we'll work on that tomorrow. So now I want you to go through and read the book one more time, noticing those long E patterns and chunking off those endings if you're stuck on a word. Okay, practice that one more time on your own, and then we'll do this book again tomorrow.